A chill has settled over Davos, and that's not just the weather. Leaders of some of the world's biggest economies, China, the United States, France and the UK, have stayed away to fight crises at home. Crises fueled by nationalism, populism and those left behind by globalization. It is everything the World Economic Forum is supposed to stand against, and yet this year's big-ticket visitor is Brazil's new president, far-right nationalist Jair Bolsonaro, here to launch what he calls a new Brazil.
We intend to reduce the size of the Brazilian state apparatus and carry out reforms such as the social security reform and also the tax reform. We wish to relieve those who produce and undertake business and projects from the weight of a heavy state.
That's good news for business, less so for those who depend on state aid. It's an odd look for an annual gathering traditionally built on bridging divides.
It does say that there's a bit of a shift and that those major leading democracies in the world are exhausted, tied in knots, have problems, but it also says this community here of globalists is perfectly willing to flirt with illiberal leaders in the world.
Compensation came in the heavyweight fight against climate change, identified as a major world threat. Having heard Bolsonaro's call for economic development in the Amazon, delegates listened to royalty interviewing a British knight of the realm.
What advice do you have for my generation, and what can we build on that you have started?
We have to recognise that every breath of air we take, every mouthful of food that we take comes from the natural world. And that if we damage the natural world, we damage ourselves.
It's what the Forum aims to do best, global box office in the name of a better world. The theme of this year's World Economic Forum here in Davos is the fourth wave of globalization, the digital revolution. It predicts a world in which technology competes with workers of all stripes, blue collar and white, in which the winners of globalization get ever richer, but fewer in number. It is a world in which inequality deepens and political leaders no longer have all the answers. Jonah, Al Jazeera, Davos, Switzerland.